Hello, everyone. Dr. Allen here. Hope you're having a great week. Hope you had a great first week. Uh, for our class this week, we actually have some pretty fun stuff we're going to do. We're going to do websites. So I told you that I would jump right into things. So we're going to go ahead and do that. But before we do that, there was a lot of do that, not do that. No, and excuse me, by the way, if I cough or seem like I'm trying to catch my voice. I actually went out golfing today, and I think allergies have gotten the better of me. So forgive that if there's any like awkward pauses. It's to make sure that I'm not coughing too much while I'm recording this. But like I said, I try to do them in one take. So here we go. All right. This week, what we're going to do, we're going to actually work with websites. The ones that we're going to look at are Weebly, Wix, Google Sites, WordPress, and make sure you have a Google account. I mentioned that last week. Your assignments are going to be to create a website, nothing too in depth. I'll go over that assignment here in a few minutes. You're going to blog on the website and what your experiences were like. Remember, 2 sentences ish. And then you're going to have a discussion on Tech Like a Pirate, Chapter 1. That's your assignments this week. So if you go down there, see, I'm already coughing. If we go down here, you can see there are little videos for each website. I'll talk about that here after we go through the PowerPoint. I have a short PowerPoint. I want to highlight the pros and cons of websiting or websites. I guess websiting would also work. I'm going to let you pick which one you want to do. And the one that I'm going to show this week is going to be Google Sites because I actually prefer Weebly, if I'm really being honest. But I think some people in the past have wanted to strangle me because Weebly is definitely one of those. Um, Once you get it, you get it. But some people, it's kind of quirky for a little bit until you kind of know the rhythm of it. So I think Google is just a more straightforward platform. So we're going to actually use that as the example in the video. But you are welcome to use Wix, Weebly, WordPress, or Google. So with all that being said, let me pull up the PowerPoint. Some weeks we'll have PowerPoint, some weeks we won't. This one I'm not going to go too crazy long one, but I just want to highlight some of the pros of having a website. So, and don't worry, I'm not going to do e-planning tonight. That's on another one. Why should you have a website? Quite simply, it's the 21st century. My gosh, we're almost a quarter through the 21st century. And I think students, teachers, parents should expect it. And when I mean teachers, I mean other teachers. If they would want to look at your class and do an observation or something, I would hope they would think you'd have a website or at least a space on some sort of learning management platform, whether that would be Schoology, Brightspace, like what I'm using, Google Classrooms, which we're going to talk about next week. I will be full disclosure. I think teaching websites. Sorry, there was a bug flying by. I think full disclosure. I think teacher websites. Um, they have kind of started to die down a little bit because so many people use things like Schoology as their platform where they post everything. I still used mine clear up until I left middle school, even though we had a system called RenWeb, mainly because when I left, I wanted all my materials. And I think, I'm not saying that, I'm sure things have gotten more advanced since I've left, but a lot of learning management systems aren't compatible if you want to transfer things, or counties just won't allow it. So for security reasons. So it was kind of like a home base for me to store a lot of my stuff. I still have a lot of stuff stored on my website. All right, some of the advantages. For teachers, paperless classroom, you don't always have the handouts. Accountability, if students aren't in class or they have to leave for a sporting event or they're sick, if you have materials posted, it's there. And then once you start to train students and parents and anyone invested in your classroom to go to your website and find things, it takes the pressure off of you, so to speak, that it's there. If you're out, you don't have to even ask me. I will have whatever you need for the day posted, whether it's a PowerPoint, whether it's a handout, whether it's a video we watch. Because I mean, so many of our videos now are on YouTube and websites are easy platforms to post that stuff. And can also help you with differentiated instructions. You can tier things. You can have balance. You can even put passwords in on certain pages. We're not going to go that far in that depth. If there is some sort of accommodations that you want things to work with, and maybe it could just be geared for certain students. And also, I think it helps organize and manage materials. I found with my website, the more and more that I've posted under each discipline or each content or each grade. It just helped me keep organized because it's like when I was lecturing and we had an Apple TV and I'd be walking around with my iPad. I could go to my website and pull up documents and write on them with different things. Cami allow me to do that. And it's just one of those things. We'll talk about that tech later. But it just was an easy way for me to be organized. It was a one-stop shop for me, my students, and parents. Kind of already highlighted some of this, but for students, it helps with collaborative learning. They can communicate and say, hey, something's up on the website in case you didn't see it. It also, again, if for some reason you're out, you might be able to post things, keep students in the know. And again, it makes your class seem like it's not just in the Stone Age. I've worked at a couple of different schools. I know one school that probably the last one I left, honestly, there were still teachers who were totally worksheet, textbook, 1950 stuff teaching. And I just don't think that's the way to go or what's expected. I'm not saying those things still can't be used. Don't get me wrong there. It just shouldn't be your only form of delivery in the classroom, if that makes sense. Um, I would be lying if I said I didn't have handouts in my class. I mean, I don't know what teacher doesn't, but I posted mine, or I might just do the work right off of my website. So anyway, makes your classroom more modern. Advantages for parents: it helps with communications. They can go to a website and check and see what's going on. Again, I know learning management systems do this kind of same purpose. Allows for transparency. It shows that you're not trying to hide anything. And I don't think most parents think teachers are trying to hide anything, but it just eliminates that fear if they do. Involvement, it makes parents more on the ball. It makes them check what's going on and kind of gets them invested in the class. I can speak from experience. I have a 14-year-old all through middle school. The teachers who posted things, we had a much easier time with than the teachers that we didn't. And sometimes I would actually come to my son's defense because some teachers were very inconsistent in how they posted things. Some teachers would kind of play gotcha stuff in class, but then maybe tell one class and not other classes. It keeps you honest and it helps with parents being able to help you keep their child, on the ball. For example, there was one time, I'm just using my son because I know from experience, there was something that he didn't do. And I said, did you look at the right website or did we look at the website? And it was posted and we didn't catch it. That's on us. And I would hope that most parents would think that. So anyway, it just helps with communication and keeping everyone invested. Again, we're going to talk about a few of these different websites, but Google, Weebly, Wix, and I don't have it on here, WordPress are going to be the primary ones. The YouTube videos are up for all of them. Weebly was the one I liked. Google Sites, though, is what I'm going to show you. And like I say, Weebly and Wix are more plug and play websites. It means you just drag things and you drop them. And also, this is a little dated because now it's all free, but Weebly used to actually offer free student sites. I had my students make websites just for something different sometimes. Here was my website. Actually, I'll send the link out after. I'm not going to pull everything up and try to keep this video somewhat condensed, but as you can see, I had 6th, 7th, 8th grade social studies. Actually, it was 6th, 7th, 8th grade social studies. I had my Natural History Day, History Bowl stuff, announcements. I had one time taught a section of language arts because they were desperate. It was on there. Golden Horseshoe stuff. All that was on my website. And as you can see, I used Weebly. And basically what I mean, it was plug and play. You would take this and you would drag it and drop it where you wanted. So if I wanted new text, I would drop it there. I don't know if you can see it, but like videos, you could drop and drag and drop there. You could create new pages by clicking that. There were different themes. You could upgrade if you wanted to. By the way, as always, I'll say this a million times, you don't need to upgrade on any of these. I'm not asking you to do anything but the free sites. Excuse me. If I remember correctly, actually, anything with a star you had to pay for weekly. Excuse me. And as you can see, my website was not anything too, beautiful. It was mostly just PDFs under each one, and I'd have it, Northern Europe, West Central Europe, for example, for 7th grade, and they would pull up stuff, and they'd have the handouts. It might be study guides. It might be PowerPoints. I usually use PDFs because that seems to be the one thing that everyone can kind of pull up. The student thing, like I said, this page has totally changed its look. There's a reference to Sakai on this PowerPoint, so forgive me. But it's still free, so students can make these websites. And just to show you what I had my students do, whoops, here's a sample. When I taught sixth grade, I had my sixth graders, instead of writing me just brief summaries and reports, I thought, man, that's boring. Not boring that it's not important, but they do that so much. I thought this might be different for them and it might be different for me. I thought it worked very well. But in World War One, I assigned everyone picked a different topic in World War One, and we did show these or shared them at least. And as you can see, they had to have a homepage decorated with something with World War One. This was one on the Red Baron and Snoopy. That was actually a GIF or a GIF, whatever you prefer. They had to do a little bio. It was sixth grade. I did great. That was kind of the writing part, but it was like had to be at least 2 to 3 solid paragraphs of a bio. And then they put a YouTube video of person. That was it. That was kind of the website, and they made it. And I'll tell you the hardest part about this was the first day, just teaching everyone how to make the website. And once they figured it out, it went great. All right, what do you need to do? Don't worry about electronic planning. I'm actually going to go back because I like the description on the website a little better. Oh no, I hit that one too many times. Yes, I did. Oh, no, I didn't. Ah. All right, here we go. Let's hit it. I got a little too happy there. Hitting the back button. All right, you're going to sign up for either Wix, Google, WordPress, which isn't listed there, or Weebly. And it's Weebly Education is no more. It's just Weebly. You're going to create a very, very brief website. Does not need to be anything too in-depth. I just want it, it's more just the kind of an intuitive type exercise. You're going to do a title page. You can put an image on it. I would like an image. I think it makes it look better. I'm not going to take off because if you're using most of them, they have a default image. Subpage, and I want you to kind of on that subpage make sure that there's some sort of link, handout, video, etc. I actually, if you want to go for the Gusto, I usually like 2 subpages, usually one with a handout, one with a video or some sort of information. I'm not going to be too picky about what's on the subpages. It's just something in detailed. It has one. I like 2, but again, I wouldn't take off because it's not listed here. It only says 1. And don't worry about Sakai no longer. We don't use it. So you're probably saying, okay, that's great, Dr. Allen. Show me what to do. Again, the videos are up for all of them. And if you're familiar with a different website, and some people have asked me different ones, and I'm fine with as long as you can do it. But I'm going to show you Google because I think when I've done Weebly in the past, people have wanted to strangle me because it is kind of quirky and it takes probably about a good half an hour to get a feel for it unless you've used it. You're going to have to sign into your Google account. Usually it's on here, and I very much might be overlooking it. But if you want to just make your life easier, just click there. I don't know what it was on my Google search. My son's probably looking at stuff. So didn't look like anything too bad. All right, when you type in Google Sites, make sure you're signed into Google. Just hit this blank. It should come up here. And you can just retitle it. We'll keep it simple. So that's it. And of course I could just put it on it. You can change all of this. As you can see, there's the images. I'm not going to get into that. I think it's nice if you do, but again, I think there's a default image there. I'm fine with. All right, that's your title page. Simple as that. You can embed anything. You can add things from your Google Drive. You can do images, of course. Like I said, you can upload or select. We can look for one if we wanted to. Let's look. Google Images. Let's look. U.S. history. Oh, that looks nice. Let's insert. So that's boom. Maybe I want to put a couple images on there. That's fine. I think it looked nice. You can change that background up there too. All right, that's your home page. Now, all you got to do is this. Hit page. That's there. If you hit the 3 dots, add a subpage, say videos on lecture. I'm just making this up. You can name it whatever you want. All right. If you go here, you can insert. And we're going to insert a video. We'll type U.S. history. And I'll pick that one. Sorry, I haven't watched them, so don't hold it too much against me. So that's there. Now let's go back. I got those. We can go back to home. You can drop. If you hit this, you can just drop. There, we're back to home. All right. If we go back to our pages, we can add other subpages. Let's add another subpage. We're going to add handouts. I know I said you only had to do one subpage and put something on there, and that's fine. But go ahead and do handouts. And we can just go in here and let's insert something. And like I say, you can do it from your Google Docs if you have it. I'm scared to see what I have in my Google Docs, but I'm going to pull some stuff up anyway. Let's do something that we do. All right, I'll do Hollywood or history. I'm going to insert it. That's the assignment. And this was something on there. It was a movie analysis that someone did, but I'm not, neither here did it. Maybe I don't like that. I'm going to get it out. I just hit the delete button. That was an assignment we do for 422 where they look at different psychology type things, but that doesn't work. So I didn't like it. So let's go back and we'll just go back to charts, but I'm going to go back to Google Docs. Let's pick a better one. Maybe one that works a little better. Oh, I saw one. There was one on for immigrants. Actually, that's one. Oh, Lincoln question. There you go. So we'll put that on there. There you go. There's a good, that works much better than the Hollywood or history one. So let's just do that one. That looks pretty good. All my websites are there. I can jump around if I need to by going right there and clicking. Now, once I've made my website, I'm going to need to publish it. You got to come up with a name. I'm going to put Alan, which is too short. Alan SU History. Looks like it works. I'm going to request that it's not displayed because it doesn't have a lot of depth to it. I'm going to publish it. So it is ready to roll. I want to share it. You're going to need, this is what you're going to need to submit. Copy this. And if you want to make sure there's restricted, I should make sure that make sure anyone with this link can check it out because I need to be able to check it out. Copy the link. And that's what you're going to submit. That's your website. So just send me that and I'll be able to check it out. And if you go, when you look at the link, let's do that real quick. There you go. It's up. And I can go over here and look. That's Google Sites. I know it's very basic. I think Weebly might be able to pretty it up stuff a little more, but this is probably more practical and probably one you could do with students a lot easier. I think it's just more nuts and bolts. I always try to do Weebly. I did it in the summer and then I kind of like regret it because I think it frustrates some people because it is a little temperamental. So, and I think I want to make sure that you have things that are really practical. But that's the assignment this week. That's the lecture. I do want to make note of a couple things that are on the website, the assignments on the Brightspace page. Sorry, I'm tongue-tied. If you go down here, you do have to blog on the website. 2 sentences. That's all really. 3, whether you like it, whether you don't. I don't own any Google stock that I know of unless it's in my 403B plan. So don't worry, it's not going to offend me if you bash Google or Weebly or Wix, or if you love it. All good. Just say what you liked, what you didn't like, whether you think it's useful. You have to do the website and submit that. That's due next Friday. I'm sorry, next Sunday. That is September 3rd. And then you have to do your discussion. And don't forget, that's 150 words, give or take. But you need to read chapter 1. And it revolves around the idea about teachers and whether they the fear of failure. I think a lot of teachers, especially first-year teachers, and it's stressful. Believe me, I had to kind of go back through that when I came to Shepherd. You don't have to be perfect, and sometimes when you mess up, we learn more from our mistakes than we do our successes. Isn't that the saying? And that's kind of what this chapter is getting into. And I think what Miller is talking about, the author of Tech Like a Pirate, he's talking about why do you think teachers are scared to fail or why that is. And I think teachers do fight that. Uh, I think it's just something to kind of consider as you're reading it, whether you'll be willing to try new things, and if something doesn't work, going back. And like we talk about, if you remember at Shepherd and 150, we talk about TARPs and the idea of a teacher as a reflective practitioner. That's very, very, very important. So, check it out. Just give me what you think on why teachers are scared to fail, or do you think why it's important to try new things? And if it doesn't work, you can always try it next year. Believe me, my first 3 or 4 years, there were things that I look back on and I'm like, oh, face palm. Then I had a colleague who was kind of started when I did, and she did the same things the whole way through because, well, she was awesome, but she did things, but she would tweak things, and that's kind of what I think you should do as an educator. Final thing, I might get into this a little bit next week more, so I don't want this video to go too much longer. But you will see me reference 21st century skills. Check these out. They're going to come up when we do the lesson plan brainstorming later in the semester. But just in case you're wondering what they are, at the turn of the century, in the year 2000, I mentioned 21st century. I guess that's why this is so connected. There was something called 21st century skills, and 21st century skills are basically things that for the new century that educators or districts and all thought were going to be so important for all students. So kind of check them out. I think most of them are pretty stressed in schools now: critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication. These are the big four. They call them the 4 C's, and everything else kind of branches off from those, but critical thinking, creativity, and communication. And as you can see, it's types of literacy: media literacy, technology, being flexible. Students need to learn to be flexible, leadership, productivity, social skills. Maybe more, a lot of these might be even almost like a reset in the past or the post-pandemic era. So check out 21st century skills. Check out this article, and as you can see, it has a nice chart. Those are the learning skills. There's the literacy skills. And then, of course, as it's loading, there's life skills on there. That's like the social aspects and all. But you'll be referencing these when you do your unit plan. I'm sorry, your unit plan, your brainstorming lesson plan activity. Okay, I think that is it. I think I've talked way too long. My computer's starting to get a little warm, I think, from me freezing, and I can tell it's already freezing up. There we go. All right. So with all that being said, I hope everyone has had a great week. But the first one, hope the second one this week goes very well. And just in case I didn't say it at the very beginning, I should have everything graded by the time you watch this. It was great seeing names and faces, if I didn't say that already, with all the Google Arts and Culture. And with that being said, there it went. I was kind of getting a little scared. With all that being said, again, if you don't see a grade for the Google Arts and Cultures, the blogs, or the discussions by the time you watch this video, do not hesitate to send me an email. It could be something that I haven't released. But again, I know a lot of people, but seeing those faces and the names really does help me out, especially if I see in the hall, I can kind of just make an instant connection. So babbling, hiccuping, coughing from golfing. I'm going to go ahead and go. I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you next week.